honest Hughie here, and I've just napped my back sitting down here on this. I like slammed into it. It's a good job it's sturdy and well built. By me, obviously, and the missus helped. So I'm going to be doing another top 5 games that I've played recently. Because I enjoyed doing a list last time, and I did the top 5 movies that I watched recently last week, so I figured I'll do games this week. So I'll start off with my number 5 straight away. Massive letdown, and it's Abe's Odyssey, Soulstorm. Now, I loved Abe's Odyssey, the original one. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was stressful. Yeah, I replayed it, still did it. Had to watch YouTube to save them all. The story was actually quite good. It was cut and dry, but it was good. You know, I had some depth to it in the first one. And the second one, it's boring. It's like, the gameplay is good and it's similar to the first, but the cinematics you can't skip and they go on forever. It's like 10 minutes, of them just talking nonsense, but you can't skip them. You have to sit there and you're wasting your time. And I'm sort of watching it and I'm like, right, are we going to cut to Abe? And then you'll see Abe chatting away, and it's just terrible. And to be honest with you, the gameplay is not very good. I know I said it's like the other one, but I don't like it. They've done it like they've done it like, you know, the last Crash Bandicoot game, where it was like a sort of movie game. I don't like that, and they've made it too hard. That was my critique with Crash Bandicoot, the last one. It was too hard, so I haven't done it. And I haven't completed this. I got up to the bit after the fire at the beginning, and I just turned it off. It was just terrible. I couldn't do it. It wasn't that it was hard. I was just bored of it. I was like, this isn't. I felt like it was a lie, really. I felt like it was a totally different game with like a copy game. I know it's been a while since the last one, but they've totally lost track of what made the other games great, personally. And this was a snooze fest, in my opinion. So that's why it's number 5. And I'm going to delve into number 4. That was just a quick one. Number 4. Now, this one, the reason why it's not my last one, and it's probably going to surprise a lot of people, because this game has gathered a lot of hate. It has a large following, and it's already on free-to-play on the PlayStation Store. So, I'll let you know what the name of the game is. You'll know what it is. Dragon Age, the Veilguard. Now, before I get into this video, I'm going to state one thing. The title sucks, right? It was going to be called The Dread Wolf. Should have stuck with that, because that at least is a better title. That was just a rant on the title. Anyway, we'll go with The Veilguard. Now, this I'm torn, because it's right. I'm going to delve into what I don't like about the game and what I do like about the game. So first things first, story's, well, it's not interesting. It's a bit like Electric State. Now, Electric State, actually a better story, and actually I wanted to add to this, it's actually pretty good. I did enjoy Electric State. I just didn't like some of the dialogue and some of how we could have got more from it. This game, on the other hand, I wanted it to end sooner than it did. It outstayed its welcome. For instance, the main campaign goes on for like 40 hours. No. This is not worthy of 40 hours. Because the beginning of it is bad. The dialogue is atrociously bad, but I didn't mind it. To start with, yeah, I was cringing. The multiplier, like they told you the same thing about 5 times. How many times they mention about them elven gods? How many times we hear Gillian and Elganon, and it's terrible. But the missus is reading these books about the woman who does about the Elves Wars. You know, them books, I forgot her name. And it's so cringy, the books, that when I was playing my game, I was like, this is kind of like them. So it was like so cringy, it was good. So I kind of was, people say hate playing. I was sort of thinking I had to see where it was going to go. I had to finish it. A lot of people can't finish it, and I don't blame them. I nearly didn't finish the game, because what happens is, Obviously, we got that bullshit intro. And then we've got the characters. Now, each character you meet, you say meet, just gets shoved into you. You have to do, there's like a mission. They have their own storylines, but their own storylines are all exactly like the same setup. It's a baddie that's done them wrong, you go and kill that baddie, and then that's their storyline done. There's no depth to them. And pretty much what I figured it was about, one moment, that's better. And like as I was saying, what I think it was about for me, and the reason why I kept playing it, and it's going to sound weird, but I did it, was because of the romantic side of it. I kept trying to get like one of them to sort of like sleep with my character, in other words, because I don't know, I just wanted to see how the choices were and how bad like, it was like terrible flirting, but it worked in the game, but it really wouldn't real life. But like I say, the main bits that I didn't like about the game, like I said, the length of it, the characters weren't done well, and quite frankly, that middle bit of the game was a snooze fest. It was really hard to get through the middle of it. Now, the beginning wasn't too bad, but when it goes to the ending, this is where I'm torn. A bit like Obi-Wan. Atrociously bad to start with. How I don't understand why it's called Dragon Age. I think, like Last of Us 2, shouldn't have been called them. You've got a massive fan base already. You've got a story of previous games you need to live up to. And you've had to do justice to previous characters. Especially if you add them in the game. You can't just kill them off and expect fans to be okay with it, especially in a midway. You've got to kill them off in a good way, justified way, and you've got to do it correct. And this game, like Last of Us Part 2, as we all know, did it atrociously bad. Except near the end. The end of this game, when you go into the final battle, granted, goes on for a while. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I actually was like, why didn't I get this? Why wasn't this the game? Now, don't get me wrong, it's a stereotypical boss fight. He's the worst villain going. He is a throwaway villain with zero depth to him. This is Eragon. But with Solus, you can see there's something there. His design is bad. The character design is atrociously bad. He looks terrible. I don't know why they didn't just put a helmet on him. But he looks bad. But oddly enough, I felt for him near the end of this game. I didn't think I would. I didn't think I'd care about any of the characters. Still don't. Certain ones I really don't even get why they're there. I don't know why it went down the whole elves will destroy the world thing. I know they want to rule the world, and you know how elves are, but elven gods and stuff. But this just went a bit. It wasn't Dragon Age again. Your choices didn't matter except little bits. Like there's a key bit at the beginning, well midway, where you have to pick what city survives, and that was a cool sort of choice thing. But again, that felt out of place, and that annoyed me because it was like it was so you didn't need that. It was just there to because it was what this game tries to do and fails at is, I'm going to get into the ending bit. I know I've cut it off a bit here, but I'm going to let you know it's the characters. You're just learning a lot about, I'm going to call him Antonio. You're learning a lot, Lucanus, there we go. You're just learning a lot about Lucanus, and you're learning a lot about Nev. And you're actually thinking, I like this Lucanus guy, he's alright. You know, he's you know, these, with the crows, or whatever they call him, quite cool. And then you like Nev's side. Nev I think's boring. And then it goes to pick what city to save. So obviously you pick the dock town to save, because the other town's got, well no, it forces you to pick Docktown. Because if you don't pick Docktown, you get a shit ending. Because it locks you out with a good ending. So you have to pick Docktown, even though logical sense, they've got a whole army behind them, and you should pick the other town, Traverso, because they've got civilians and you can protect the civilians, and that would be good. And that should pay off for a good ending, but it doesn't, because you got the army, you save the army, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it does that, you do that, Lucanus spits his dummy out, fair enough. And then he just turns into a complete knob. Like, you couldn't care about him at all. He bails on you, fair enough on that one. comes back all stroppy or moody or this and that, and the character development is just completely gone. And I was just thinking, I don't care if he died. And then there's another one, what's her name, Harding, she was in the previous games. I couldn't give a crap about her either. I couldn't care about any of the characters, and near the end, this is where I think it gets good. The choices actually matter. It's still not great, but I enjoyed it, because you pick, I'll let you know, because a lot of you probably haven't done the ending, but you send them into battle at the end against, it's just one god, because you kill the other woman god, who's just pathetic. I don't even know why she's there, and it's not just him with that power. It makes no sense. He goes nuts and, does the same thing, destroys the city, still uses blight, which is why I don't get why Gillian's even there, apart from it being his sister. But we go on to the main bit of the game where you pick, and if you mess your choices up, this is the main bit that's annoying with the game though, and why a lot of people won't do it, why I struggled. You have to do each character's side quest, complete it fully. Now you can spam through it dead quick. I did it dead quick, but you have to do it, because if you don't have the little shield thing near them and you send them to battle, they'll die. Whether it's the right choice, wrong choice, they'll die. And it is like completely, like when you lead up to the end and you see Solus with his missus and stuff like that, you don't mind. But I mean, the dragons are cool, but the dragon fights are exactly the same each time. Each enemy's, the combat's cool. I don't mind the combat. I don't mind the look of it. I think it looks nice. But apart from that, the game itself is a massive, massive letdown. I don't see how it calls itself a Dragon Age game. Like, it is not Dragon Age. It is not Dragon Age. And it was supposed to be an online game. Online has no right to be anywhere near a Dragon Age game. Like, I don't think the Elder Scrolls should have went online. I think it should have just stayed what works. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. You know what I mean? Like Dragon Age is not an online game. It's an RPG game. Just stick with what's good. Anyway, that's crap. And it doesn't look like we're going to get another one, because that did really bad. It didn't even get, the sales went up, were really bad when it was selling. When it went on the free bit on the PlayStation Store, even the downloads were low. Like, I think I was like one of the percents, but it's like quite a low percent who bought it. So anyway, we'll be done with that trash. It's bad. The reason why it's not last is because I at least completed this game. Soulstorm I couldn't do. It was just, oh god. So into my number 3 spot, that I'm currently playing at the moment, but I'll do a review on it. And it's an old one. It's Assassin's Creed. It's not Shadows, don't worry. It's Valhalla. And I've got to tell you, the look of it looks stunning. It plays really nice, and I like the Viking feel to it. It's not really an Assassin's Creed game. Yeah, it delves into the Creed. You've got the knife and stuff, but it is a Viking game. Now, I like Viking games. This is spot on, and this makes me think, how is Ubisoft, we call them Poopysoft now, gone? Where they've gone? Look at this. Even Odyssey, you know how I feel about Odyssey. I don't really like Odyssey, but even this game looks amazing. Plays nice. Yeah, the story might go a bit flat. I bet it does near the end, but it's still good. It's still, it's not. I think the problem with them is they're greedy, really greedy. They've got the store there. They're always ramming things in your face. That buy this, download this, do that. And the main thing I think is the problem is that they can't write good characters in an interesting story, but they can't bounce it off 2 interesting characters. So when you cut back to the woman, I couldn't care about her. Couldn't care about her story, but I do care about Avon's. I care about his, and I just want to be in his story. I don't want to be cutting back on the Atomus side. I'd rather her just be laid up the whole game. And that was the feeling with Odyssey, and that was the feeling with Origins. But Origins went a bit off with the story near the end. His missus did made him. Why shouldn't just tell him she was in the Creed? I don't know. Anyway, we'll skip that one. So anyway, Valhalla so far is number 3. Just because story is way more interesting than Dragon Age, and gameplay is hell of a lot better. and Soulstorm. Not like, obviously, comparison, but... And I can skip the cinematics, which is good. And you can skip cinematics in Dragon Age Origins. I'm not going to sit through cinematics, because no doubt you play it more than once. It was 10 minutes. I ain't got time to waste like that. Anyway, we delve into my number 2 spot. This I really enjoyed. And the reason why it's number 2 is because it wasn't long enough. And not long enough, but I'll explain a bit as I get into it. So my number 2 spot, Space Marines, Warhammer 2. Loved it. I really enjoyed it. Just from how brutal it is, how old school it is, to the characters, to the badass of the game. It does make you feel like a badass, taking down loads of the alien looking things, and it got really good, hooked me in the story straight away, especially that intro was mint. And brother, I loved it, honestly, I really did, except now it near the end goes a bit off topic. So you've got the alien things, and it's all about them, and it looks like they've overwhelmed the world. It looks like they're going to destroy the world, and you're fighting a losing battle, but you're going to do it because you're Space Marines, and you know you're doing it. You're bonding with your team, and that's mint. The characters are really interesting, especially your 2 teams. They're really good. Had me questioning if some of them were going to turn on me, like the first one. Great. Him being in it out the first one, the reveal, mint. But the ending, hearing the Emperor's voice was good, was mint. But the ending, and leading up to the ending, the enemies, I didn't like. I felt it jumped a bit. It went from them to dropping a bomb on them, said things, to all of a sudden we're fighting these other things. Let's throw them things away and have a bigger thing. That I personally think it should have just been fighting them things we originally were fighting to start with, and then maybe having a bit of a fight with the geezer trying to open up the portal things. Maybe that, and a few of them near the end. I don't mind that, but it should have been more focused on the newer enemies they've added, instead of going back to the old schooly ones, because the goblins aren't in it. But my main thing is my gripe with the game, and the reason why it's not number 1, is by what I mean by it's too short is it ends as it's... To me, it feels like we're just getting into the story properly. This feels like, yeah, it's building on character development, yeah, it's building on the world and stuff like that, but we're just getting into the story. You just get promoted and all this, you become, you know, higher up rank, and it ends. And it feels like I've played DLC, but a story like don't get me wrong, great DLC, fantastic, but it feels like it ends midway. And it adds these online missions where you can go through and you can see what your other team's done, because you send 2 teams in. I think that's great, but again, takes the story away. Should have just focused on the story and the gameplay, which it does to an extent, but it's not game of the year. It's not like, don't get me wrong, I loved it, but it just takes that, it just leaves a sort of dissatisfied to it. I wasn't satisfied at the end. I was like, that was it. I thought we were just getting started. You know, it feels like I'm just getting started. You know, I played this for 8 hours and it ended. That's if you spam through it really quick. You know, it could be longer than 8 hours. And it feels like it just needs just another, even if it's just a couple of missions more. Just to sort of, even if it's a setup for the next game, that's fine. I don't mind. I'll happily buy the next one. But this was like £70. I think I should have waited for it to go a lot cheaper. For what I got. By no means is it a bad game, by no means do I feel robbed. I just feel like it's not worth £70 game, but it's nice for once to have a game going into the short like bit of it that's not bloated out and stretched out, which is what the Assassin's Creed games do anyway. They get bloated and dragged out, and you know, you're sleeping. This was the same with Dragon Age. Oh, and apparently Dragon Age, just delving into it one last time, let us know, it was supposed to originally be DLC. That's why it's crap. And that's why the beginning of it is weird, but the ending is actually quite good, because if it was just the beginning and the ending, you know what, it'd be an okay game. But again, why I'd slap Dragon Age on it, I do not know. So yeah, like I say, going back to, I nearly said Soul, Dragon Soul then. Dragon Soul, that'd be weird. Oh, I'll keep going to call Dragon Age Dragonborn. I wish there was a Dragonborn game. That'd be unreal. Technically it's Skyrim. So that was Space Marine 2. Really did enjoy it. You know, overall, I do recommend it. You don't expect it to be long. And don't expect, like, you will enjoy it. Especially if you like the first one, but it's not as, like I say, the ending isn't satisfying, in my opinion. It's a bit of a, oh, well, I thought we were just getting started. It's that type of ending, which I get, but for me, I wanted to get started. And I was ready as well, and then it ended, and I was like, oh, okay, right, I guess that's it. So leading into my number one spot, now it's a bit of an old game. I say old, a couple of year old. And I played it twice, and I loved it each time. Stray. Now, Stray is about a post-apocalyptic world where a bit like Electric State, but smaller robots, AIs, and you've got them things that eat everything, and you pretty much play the whole game as a cat, and you've got like an AI friend, and I have to say, it's amazing. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend you play it. Now, yes, it's not granted, it's not going to be a game for everybody, because some people will want action, will want shooting, but if you just want a story game, a game where the world sort of shows the story to you, and the characters you come across are great, interesting, this is the one for you. This is by far one of my favourite games I've played in a long time. Down to just because you get to play as a cat, and it's just how cute that cat is you're playing as, and how it goes. The only downside is the ending of the game is a bit of a bit downsidey, which I'll just say it starts off, you're in a cat gang, pretty much. You're a gang, and you fall off this ledge thing, and you lose your gang, and the whole thing is about getting up to the top, back to your gang. And the ending doesn't show that cat back with the gang. That's all I'll say. I won't spoil it. That doesn't spoil anything, but I wanted to have him back with his friends. Yeah, that would have been a very, amazing ending. But I get why it ended how it ended, and I get the message behind the game. And you know what? I'm not going to say much about it. I'm just going to say, if you haven't, it's cheap too. Dead easy. Get it. Do it. Because it's an amazing game, and that's number one. So there we go. Top 5 games I've played recently. You know what? I've been enjoying doing these videos. Like I say, some good, amazing, some really bad. And yeah, there's a theme lately with dragons, isn't there? Now, I love dragons. I will get into a real thing here real quick. Dragons, honestly, anything with dragons I'm happy with. But, God, they cannot do them right. Even Shazam 2 didn't do a dragon right, did it? But it looked cool. And anyway, let's end this review here. And I'll see you in the next one. I'll probably do a review on... Oh, I've gone blank. What movie am I watching? Sinners. Yes, I'll be doing a review on that soon, because I'm going to watch that. I've heard mint reviews on that. Oh, yeah, because Michael B. Jordan, no? Michael Jordan.